watching the show, hearing the stories that you tell before the songs while watching you on stage brings so much more insight. Say, for example, Love Yours, you told a story about, a billionaire, and a billionaire can have all the money in the world, but could be miserable as basically.
Right.
Right. And you talked about, now I'm on the other side. I've experienced this. I got the money. It ain't all what it worked out to be. What was your experience like when you finally start making money?
I ain't really got an answer for that because it doesn't resonate with me.
Yeah.
I don't have no cool answer for you because it's like I was never like gassed, like, oh, look how we getting this. I don't come from that world.
Yeah.
I don't come from that world where I just can't wait to get money and stunt and show you that I got money and make a video on Instagram holding and talking to the money. That's not. That's
You're not
like
gonna put the stack on your ear?
Nah, I see that's like the cool thing right now, but that's not cool. That's never been cool to me. Like if it's cool to you, do it. But I just noticed that some of these people that got everything that we think we want, deep down they're not happy, which I could relate to because I went through that period where it's like I had all these blessings, but the happiness wasn't there.
I feel like this album is also like preserving a certain part of the culture that, you and I talked about some of the research you've done on culture,
Right.
on hip hop,
Yeah.
Going back and looking at some of the pioneers.
Yes.
And by even talking to that just grew my perspective on who you are because you're kind of like a bridge for my generation and your generation. Things that confuse me about this generation of rappers seem like it confuses you too.
It don't confuse me because I understand them. I know them. Even if I don't know them personally, I know somebody that I grew up with that is them. So I understand the mentality. I also remember a time in the culture in my short life where it was like, felt more interesting, felt more exciting. Less like critical, less everybody worry about first week numbers and like, oh, who's the hottest? It was more like, yo, we getting this album finally? We getting the Nas album, we getting the Jay album finally? Oh, Lauryn Hill got an album? Jay-Z dropped on the same day as Lauryn Hill and Tribe Called Quest. Who knows the first week numbers? Who knows who beat who? Nobody gives a Back then, I'll be finding myself going back in time, like just trying to connect the dots. Like I was just watching this documentary I told you about. It's called like Big Fun in the Big City or in the big town or whatever. Yeah. It's like these Dutch dudes came over and did a documentary in the 80s on hip hop, this new thing called hip hop. And they had all these interviews. Grandmaster Flash, Dougie Fresh, they interview LL like in his crib in Queens. And when I look back, I'm like, they was having way more fun with this stuff than what we are. Yeah. It was way more about like the music, the energy, the culture. This is new. Now I feel like whether they know it or not, people are tired. These albums that's coming out, people bored, bro. It's the truth. And it's like the few bright spots in hip hop, it's like, it's sad that that's it. Because at one time, everything was a bright spot, you know what I mean? So I just be waiting for that new thing. What's that new thing that's coming? Yeah. I feel like something new is coming. I realized this as I was watching that same documentary. I was like, yo, when hip hop like came and got hot, soul music, which was like an evolution of like rhythm and blues, which is like an evolution of like blues and jazz, soul music, which was like in its heyday, that morphed into disco. Yeah. That morphed into something corny, something that was so pure at one point, morphed into disco, and now they seeing dun 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 dun.
Saturday Night
So
Fever.
you got exactly. You got the young people subconsciously like, we not fucking with that. We need something new. And what grew out of that? Hip hop. Yeah. I'm only saying that to say it feels to me like we could be in that stage. I ain't saying we are, because maybe hip hop come back to life. I mean, it's always gonna be here, but I'm saying it might be time for something new. Yeah.